Everyone's Grand Chief Rose here. I'm kind of got a lot of different topics. And I try to stay out of politics when it comes to this. The reason why we don't allow politics in the group is because we want to have people focus on positive things. And I mean, there's like hundreds of groups that you can go and get politics all together, right? So, what's going on in the world, you shouldn't miss it by not posting it in our group for Canund Nation. So, I want to talk to you guys about something here. We ran into this guy there a couple days ago. We did a how do you put it? I don't know. We had a conversation, anyways, and he was dead set on that people don't want a constitution, that it should be direct democracy and nothing else. Okay, that sounds like a good idea. For the direct democracy part, not the constitution part. And I've asked my people. The only reason why we created the Constitution for Canund Nation was because people wanted it, because it was a lot of work, right? So I'm like, well, do we actually want this or not, right? And everyone said yes. And so that's why we created our constitution. Doesn't mean he has to have one. I mean, but my biggest worry is when you don't have a constitution, then you get Trudeau sitting there bullying everyone, and there's nothing to protect you from them. But I just thought I'd bring that up. Without us having a constitution and a basic set of rules that we agree on as a group, as a nation, then anyone can go do anything, and even a lot of bad things, right? You could get, let's put it this way, if we didn't have a constitution and freedom charter rights or the Bill of Rights in Canada, Trudeau would have put the country in full communist mode already. The only thing that's holding them back is pieces of paper that he's slowly trying to road, but he's having a hard time. So now, could you imagine if he had 51% of the population agreeing with him, and the other 49% that don't, being bullied all the time and abused, mistreated, mass genocide happening? Like, there's so many problems if you don't have that basic set of rules everyone agrees on, right? And I'm not saying give the power to the government. By all means, no. Canund Nation gives all the power to the people, but there is our basic set of rules that we've put forth through a constitution. Yes, I did write 80% of it, and the other 20% came from suggestion from members, stuff like that. We had it spell checked like 30 times from people. And yes, we've had some people agree with some things and not with others. But you know what? That's what a real democracy is that people get to make the deal. But once it's in play, which we put in play as of January 1st, 2022 there, and then people gave that signature their approval, that sacred signature that said, okay, I agree with your constitution, I want to be part of it. That is what a constitution is. People chose. We had over 400 plus signatures by the time we were done. So we're doing not too bad by any means. And I always find it frustrating when people don't listen to the people. Yeah, it's funny when I've always come across brokers. They promise you the moon. Yeah, we can do this, this, and this. Turns out they actually don't. That's one of the main signs of the narcissist. And I've seen that before too. So I'm not naming any names, right? Because it's not worth my time. I just thought I would mention that the importance of a constitution. And I mean, feel free to disagree, right? If you don't like a constitution, then you don't have to go live up in the woods and be by yourself. I mean, it's still 18-hour days just for the basics, but I mean, that's up to you. Now, if you want to be part of society, a new society where we're not sitting there forcing vaccination, where we're not indoctrinating our children into a sex cult, we're not, we have a decent set of rules and structures to the Constitution, and where we actually have it so people can get ahead, so people could afford to pay off their place within 2 to 5 years from working. Yeah, I know, right? Never been heard of before. Well, at least not since our probably grandfather's days, right? Land back then. I mean, my great grandfather on my mom's side, and then her father's side, so my grandfather's side, he ended up getting like a quarter or a whole bunch of quarter sections for $100. Can you imagine if you could buy land for $100 nowadays, eh? So now it's like 160 grand and up. But anyways, the point is that everything has gone up to the point where nobody can afford it. So that's part of something we looked at in this in our nation as well. We take care of our own first, and then guests come second. So a guest is an immigrant who was not born in Canada. Doesn't mean that they don't belong, they can't work, but but our citizens come first. They get better price on food. They can own everything that they want for real estate. Guests can, and then they only pay maximum 10% fixed income tax, or we call it contribution fee, but nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, you can own business and stuff like that. Guests only can own a condo. They have to pay at least a minimum of 25% fixed tax to contribute to the community. Whether they get full medical or not, it depends on their job. For members or citizens, it's fully covered. So there's a huge difference. We take care of our people first. Doesn't mean we're going to go kick someone out because someone else needs it. But the point is that, when people come to our nation that aren't born here, and I get it, they don't have a choice where they're born, same here, right? They should have to earn the right to be there. And there's ways to do it, too. So we're not just throwing people out. But there's also... there's a lot of great things here, and it's kind of hard to mention them all at once. But the amazing stuff that we're doing with Canund Nation and our mining company and stuff like that. So we'll have work for generations, not just through the community, but through the mines and with green technology on that. And I don't mean solar and wind. There's a reason. Just don't want to mention how, and will someday. But yeah, it's just privacy reasons. I'm allowed to talk on Canund Nation's behalf because I'm the Grand Chief, but I can't talk on the mine's behalf because I'm not the CEO. I put Brian Boucher in there, who's a really good friend, and he makes decisions on what we can say on that, and that's fine. Most corporations have everything classified, level kind of thing, so you can't talk about them, which is perfectly fine. But as for Canund Nation, we are open, we are free, and we have true democracy where you get to vote for your local representative, your chief, and your laws. So it makes it quite interesting. And General Council cannot make laws. It has to be suggested by the people. So that makes a huge difference. Either way, guys, God bless, and may the Creator be with you. And thank you for your time.